What happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Do we go to heaven? Or even worse, hell? Can we communicate with the dead? And if we can, should we? Let's find out.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 20 of San Pedro Paranormal. I'm here with my co-host, as always, Carlos, and I'm your host, Tony.
What's up,
people? Today's episode is actually kind of special because we didn't think we were, you know, when we started making these videos, at least I didn't think we were going to make it to episode 20. Yeah. You know, I always thought this was going to be like a little hobby, and you know that I was going to probably by episode 10 be tired of it, but we're still here. We're still going strong. Yeah. So anyways, today's episode's going to be on it's titled The Afterlife, but we're going to be talking about near death experiences, a little bit about aliens again, as like always, maybe throwing the Matrix in there and stuff.
There's some movies, some Matrix.
Yeah, to talk about some movies, maybe, you know, anything related to something with Afterlife. But anyways, Carlos, how was your week this week? Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm still here at the house, so I can't really go out anywhere. But it's fun. I just like I've actually been working this week on a new desktop computer. So that way we can cut down our rendering times or our processing times for our videos. Mm-hmm. As you know, I've been having a hard time with videos on the laptop because now since we're getting so involved now with our videos up to episode 20, we're spending more time on them, which is now an hour long. Mm-hmm. And my poor little laptop takes about 2 hours to do about 1 hour of video. Yeah. So I ordered a few little parts here and there from the internet, and I added them all to my desktop computer, which has a bigger processor and faster drives and everything. And now I can do a whole 1 hour of our videos in 20 minutes now. Yeah. So that's a big time saver. It's especially good for you guys out there that want the videos that same night or promptly following the next day.
Yeah,
it's going to help out a lot. Actually.
Yeah, because you know what? That was one of the things that was kind of starting to slow us down, right? Like we were used to releasing the videos on Friday, and then it kind of got pushed to Saturday, and then Saturday night. So it was just it was just taking so long to upload them onto YouTube. Mm-hmm. But so that's a good thing. So did you buy this? Yeah. You built the computer, or you bought it?
No, I built this one. This is it's the parts aren't like top of the line. They're little hand-me-downs and parts from that I bought on used website or with used parts that are like brand new. But the video card I did purchase brand new, and that's what's really helping with the render. Adobe came out with a new Adobe Premiere Pro 2020, and it actually has software in it that will take advantage of your AGP, Advanced Graphics Processor. So this is the little card inside that puts all the fancy graphics on your PS3, on your Xbox, and on your computer games. And now they're using that technology to make sure that a video gets rendered fully with a bunch of cool effects in little or no time.
Tech talk. I'm not very good with that. But anyways, the thing is that the videos are uploading faster now, so it's a plus for the channel. Yes, but so anyways, you know what, this topic that we're going to be talking about today, it's always been, I think it's something that most of us are curious about, even when you're younger, right? Since you're a child. Because I remember when I was a kid, I was always not so much afraid, but more like curious of what happens, especially when you're raised in a religious home. There's a lot of talk about like if you don't do things the right way, or if you do bad things, you're gonna go to hell. So that's always like something that sticks with you. Like, oh man, like is that real? Like, am I gonna be burning for the rest of my life because I stole that bubblegum pack?
I stole those garbage pail kids cards from the liquor store, put it up my sleeve, and now I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna go to hell for it?
Oh man, yeah. So I think it's go ahead.
And me, I'm thinking, I was more scared than anything because they would always tell me, "Oh, yeah, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell." And then at school, especially elementary at Barton Hill, there was Abner, and there was this other kid that was a different religion. They would always get into these arguments about religion and what happens when you die, and this happens and that happens, and then they talk about revelations, the end of the world, and all that stuff kind of stuck in my head, like what's going to happen, in the future. And you start thinking about all these. As a kid, you start thinking about all these monsters that happen in the Bible and all that. Oh my God, it's just,
yeah, and you know what? I think no matter what religion you are, the outcome to doing bad things is bad no matter what. Either it be hell or eternal death, eternal darkness, or anything. It's gonna be bad. But but you know what? Now that I'm older, it's I think you start seeing things differently because now I'm not so much like not afraid of it. I don't want to use the word afraid, but I'm not as worried anymore because at least. What's your belief, Carlos? What do you think happens when you die? And then I'll tell you what I think.
Depends on what part of the day you catch me on.
Hey, it depends how many of these you've had.
Well, I grew up, Catholic, and I went to, I went to catechism, went to church, and then my confirmation, all that good stuff. And getting older and all that, and you start reading, you start looking up other things, your belief kind of wanes a bit. But I don't knock religion. I think it'd be a beautiful thing for those people that need to pray and to have someone hear you. But for me, I'm kind of like going away from that. Or I already have. Maybe I was agnostic for a while, but now I'm more like, oh, you die. That's it.
Yeah.
Just like an organism, but that's just my personal belief.
Yeah. Well, you know what I thought. What I thought a lot about is like, what I'm kind of starting to lean towards is that I believe that when you die, what a lot of people call the soul, your soul. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of an energy that just recycles itself into either another person or something living here on planet Earth. So I'm thinking, you'll go to you will have something like reincarnation, but not so much because it could be into an animal or to a human, but you won't remember. And you know what? That's gonna kind of take us into one of the things I want to talk about, where people that have supposedly memories of their past lives. So I'm thinking that's what happens. You die, your energy leaves the body and just goes to finds the next, thing.
There is a bit of science in that, Tony. And the science says that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just gets redistributed somewhere else.
Yeah.
When you look at engines, you look at batteries and sun and everything else, all that is all related when it comes to the way energy is used and it dissipates and so forth. So there's some laws out there. I'm not an expert, but there's a lot of science in that.
Well, it's kind of like a water, right? It rains down, you drink it, you pee it, you flush it, goes back into the ocean, goes back into the skies, and it's just, water goes through so many different changes. So I'm kind of thinking that's kind of what happens to us. At least that's what I think. But anyways, Carlos, what did you find out about how much? Don't tell me you got your research from Indiana Jones this time.
Well, I put the first, second, and third movie together, and I came up with this grand theory and mapped it all out on the wall with a yarn piece.
You pulled a Doc Brown.
No, Doc Brown, right?
Oh man! So yeah, what did you find out?
So what happens when people die? What's one of the things that you think about? And there's religions will kind of guide you into a direction of what happens. So religion is one of the things you want to look into. We talk about how I was Catholic, and you believe in a heaven, a hell, and then there's Judaism. They believe in a heaven, and there's forms of Judaism that don't believe in a hell, or they believe in some sort of hell, but it's not the kind of hell that you and I think about. And then there's Buddhism, which like you kind of mentioned, which is you're reincarnated, but in a different kind of way. Buddhism, you pass away, and what determines where you go is how you treat people in your current life, which is, I guess people call it karma, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a good person in this life, and you pass away, then you come over to the next life and you're an even better person. You could be someone like a poor person, and the next life you'll be someone that has a better life. You're middle class, or you're rich, or whatever. If you're a bad person in Buddhism, you reincarnate, and you can come back as, let's say, a cockroach or a snake or something like that, some sort of low level being. So there's the whole thing about religion, about what happens. Judaism, I believe, I don't know if it was early forms or later forms. I'm not an expert in Judaism, but supposedly they just believe in a heaven, and if you die, there is no hell.
Hey, Carlitos, sorry to bother you. You know how you said you're not an expert in Judaism? We're not an expert in any of the things we're talking about. We're just talking about them. Anyways, go ahead.
We're not. But they don't believe. Well, there's certain sects, right? Sects of Judaism. So if you're a bad person and you go to hell in certain parts of Judaism, hell is not like pitchforks and the devil and you're burning and you're in pain all the time. It's more like you're just thinking about all the bad things you did, thinking about all the bad things you did, thinking about the bad things you did and how you're gonna make up for them. And sooner or later, you're leveled over to heaven. If that's what I remember from the little bit of research that I did on that.
Yeah.
And Catholicism, you're bad, you're judged, and once you're judged and they say you're evil, then they send you down to hell. And if you're a good person and you go through the pearly gates, and you're in heaven.
So you pretty much covered all the isms. But you know what? On the research I did, I actually looked for like one of the original, at least supposedly that is on record of near death experiences was back in 300 BC with Plato. The philosopher.
Right. Philosopher.
And he had written about a soldier in the army that had been killed. And I guess I don't know how it worked back then, but they kept the body without either burying it or burning it for a few days, and then when it came time to actually burn, I guess they were gonna burn it like in an altar or something. When they were about to burn it, the guy came back to life, and he started talking about, and Plato wrote about this, that this soldier was able to see other planets, and like he was able to travel through the universe. And he described star systems that like nobody even heard of. So I mean, I don't know how real that is, but that's what it said online. So it must be true. But yeah, that's one of the original stories of afterlife, of near death experiences.
Yeah. What have people? So you're more of an expert than I am on this. So what have people seen during these near-death experiences besides the guy from Plato that he described about the guy that just went through different universes? Mm-hmm. What do people see when they pass and when they come back? What's in those little few minutes?
Yeah, well, you know what? There's some, and this has happened to a lot of people that have been through this experience. Is that they'll meet with loved ones on the other side, and they'll tell them, you know what, it's not your time yet, you're not ready, you still have other things to do, and that's when they get sucked back into and when they bring them back to life. But I think there's also a lot of people that say they see like a tunnel, they go through a tunnel, right? I don't know if you saw that online, that they'll see like a tunnel with a light at the end of it. And right. The thing is, there's people that say that that's only like which kind of makes sense, that say that you see that in your imagination because that's the way of your body dealing with death. Like it's trying to comfort you before you die. And okay. I mean,
yeah, and some people have seen this light at the tunnel, and they look at it and they don't want to go back to their bodies. They just want to go to there because, like you said, it's very comforting. Mm-hmm. It's full of love, and it just feels really good. That it's kind of hard to say no to it.
Yeah, and I mean that would make sense because I mean let's say God, the creator, he made everything here in the universe. But if he was if I was God, I mean I don't want to compare myself to God or anything, but if I was God and I was able to create life and I knew this life was gonna live its course and die, I would want it to not suffer when it dies, you know. So I would kind of throw in that little bonus ending, so you know, just to die in peace.
Right.
But who knows? Who knows? But anyways, you were saying that you were kind of before we started filming, you were kind of comparing the near-death experience to the movie The Matrix. Why is that?
Well, some people have thought about maybe if you die here, this is just like a stage, and this first level, once it's over, you move on to a next plane or a next level of existence. And it may not just be heaven or you're an angel or so and you're going to heaven. It could be just another place. Now, I didn't really do a whole lot of research on this. I was just going along with what we're talking about, like the Matrix, where you wake up. And instead of taking what does you take, the blue pill to get out of it, out of that situation? Instead of taking the blue pill, your body, passes on, and next thing you know, you're, instead of waking in a in a pill full of goo and stuff and a bunch of wires all over your place, all over your body, you're coming out into some other different level where you just feel a little bit more enlightened, or you're just on a happier scale. So that's a good little theory that some people have talked about, or so.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Well,
it's more movie-like than anything, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be more kind of like a multiverse, right? Where you die in one universe, and in a different level you start living your life again in a different level. But
I can agree with you with that.
And you know what I thought about that, like I've thought about something like where our lives are like a book, and we go through this book. And like you said, who are the ones that believe that you have to level up in order to go to the next plane? Is that like the Buddhist or?
Oh, the Buddhist, yeah, the karma.
Yeah, so I've thought about that. Like maybe we are stuck in a loop where we're living over and over till we reach a point where we're able to move on to the next level, because I mean that would kind of help explain what is it called when you go somewhere and you're like, hey, I've been here before, and I remember.
The sense of deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu. That would kind of explain deja vu, because then that's why you're having deja vu, because you already went through this life, and this is like your second or third time going through the same thing. And maybe there's little glitches like in the Matrix where like, oh, you're not supposed to remember this, but you somehow remember it.
Back to that movie.
Yeah, but I mean that would be cool,
Right.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like what you're living in right now is like a little safety bubble, and as soon as you pass away or something happens, it pops, or you go to the next one.
The next level.
The end of the stage. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean there are people that that they've actually made movies about this, where there's certain even kids that, like especially kids that remember stuff from past lives, that like they'll start telling the parents like, what, I remember I had a wife and these two kids, and I lived in this town, and they'll describe the house and everything, and they'll actually go and find the place.
Yes, it's a story. I forget. It's about this little blonde kid. He must have been like 3, 4, or 5 years old, and he keeps saying this name that, this is where I'm from, but he's nowhere near from that area, because he was born in this town his whole life. He was just there for 3 years. He was born. But he keeps talking about this dog. He keeps talking about this house, this and that, and his other father. And suddenly, the parents have enough of this, and I guess they fly over there to wherever he's describing, and they do find the house. They do find the beach front property, and the little kid sees this, and then he just breaks down. Like he just starts crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it all kind of comes back to him.
It comes back to him. He starts crying, and next thing you know, he wants to go home. The parents take him back home, and he's just normal from then on.
Yeah. So that would kind of be in relatable to what I was saying, where your energy transfer. You die, you transfer to someone else, and again, I don't want to keep on mentioning the movie The Matrix, but maybe when you do, that energy does move to the next person. Maybe once in a while it'll take a little memory from that past life you had. Yeah. And maybe that's why. And maybe when you're a child, you have better more chance of remembering than when you get older. Because as you get older, you start like reaching the end of the story, And I think the closer you are to when you start is, it's like a memory. It's like when something happens when you're 10, and then when you're 13 you still remember, when you're 20 you still remember, but then once you hit 30 it starts kind of fading away. You know what I mean?
You're right. And that one example you're talking about the kid and everything, and people remembering where they were in their past lives, it's some sort of like an unfinished business that last life had that needs to complete it in this current life.
Yeah.
And that's something that I want to talk about later on when we go into the stragglers, the people that get left behind after death.
Well, you know what? That would kind of make sense of like having something that you never finished, because I know sometimes myself I at this point in my life I feel like I have there's something I'm supposed to do, but I don't know exactly what it is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people feel like this, not just me. Right?
I'm doing it now.
Yeah. So sometimes I feel like, there's something big I'm supposed to do, but I don't know what it is, and it's always bothering me. And maybe that's what happens. Maybe sometimes you die and you never do that thing you're supposed, that you feel you have to do. So you end up coming back to kind of see, maybe when one of those lives you end up doing it, and maybe when you do it, that's when you end up moving to a different plane.
Right. And that's a little bit of what I know about Buddhism is that you can reincarnate and come back and make your life better, but there's also a part too where you can go into heaven.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. It's like, okay,
maybe once you're able to finish that thing that you're supposed to do, then you're able to, go to the next level.
Right.
Like
exactly.
Call of Duty. You know what? I don't want to talk about Call of Duty, but I recently started playing Call of Duty. Last. Do you play Call of Duty or no?
No.
No. Okay. Well, anyways, I recently started playing Call of Duty.
Games.
I recently started playing Call of Duty, and I just been really hooked on it. But anyway, let's get back to topic. I don't want to talk about Call of Duty. I waste enough time on video games. Yeah. So So I mean, who knows? I mean, anything's possible. I mean, we don't know. Yeah. And I mean, you can't dismiss what people say. Like these people because a lot of people believe that. What these people say when they die, because nobody's sure if they're really 100% dead, and they come back, they say it's just imagination or a dream. But I mean, you don't know. I mean, you don't know until you actually go through it yourself. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, what is on the other side exactly? There's so much information out there. It could be another dream. It could be another world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know what? That's something else that I thought about, because you know how we cover paranormal, we cover the spirits, ghosts, and all that. Yeah. I even got to the point where I thought, what if we die, and we do continue, on the same on Earth, but on a different dimension, and we continue to live our lives in different worlds, and that's why I sometimes think, what if ghosts? That's all they are. They're like people that are living in a different dimension.
Right, like how we talked before on this show, we talked about string theory and X theory, how there might be different dimensions, and they could be intertwined.
Yeah, so I mean, it might just be that.
Yeah, which brings me to my topic that I just jotted down some notes on. This is why do people become earthbound ghosts? And that's one of the things I want to.
You mean the spirits that never leave, or?
Exactly. It's like what purpose, or why do they come back, or why do they never leave?
Why are they stuck?
Mm-hmm. Why are they stuck, and what do they need? What do they want? What information do they need? And some of the information that I got here is why do people become ghosts? Sometimes they don't even know that they're ghosts. They die suddenly, and all of a sudden they think they're human, but no, that's not necessarily the case. Something has to pretty much show them that they have passed, they have gone. So that's one of the reasons why they stay behind.
Yeah,
it could be trauma, leaving the physical body, and of course, what I just mentioned is they need that realization of seeing maybe their tomb or some sort of marker that's saying that they're no longer here, that they're on the next plane, and they should move on.
Yeah, you know what? That reminds me a lot of a really great film. I don't know if you ever saw this, Carlos. With Nicole Kidman, called The Others. Do you remember that movie?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, you gotta watch it. It's so good.
Okay.
It's it's something relatable to what we're talking about. And you know what? Now that I know you haven't watched it, I can't really talk about it because I'll kind of just kill it. But
It's
anyway,
okay. You can
anyways,
talk about
watch
it.
the movie The Others because it has something to do with that, with like spirits and humans and sharing. You know, like kind of confused, like who does the ghost doesn't know who's alive. The person alive thinks they're a ghost, and it's just a big old. But I mean,
It's crazy.
great movie, The Others. But
I'll check it out.
yeah, check it
We
out.
can do a review on it.
Yeah.
Another thing why people may become ghosts is because they need to establish some sort of connection. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Some sort of contact.
Oh, you mean like
see,
maybe
they-
like they have to kind of what do you call it when that you want closure? No.
Yes, they stay near an area and they try to contact people because in that area they're very attached to that place. Maybe it could be a home, or it could be a place where they were at a lot of times. Maybe it was somewhere where they would sing or do some sort of activity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why they would stay around that area.
Yeah. And you know what?
Uh,
Go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead.
Another part would be they are in denial that the spirit isn't clear that it has died.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty much that's another thing. They're in denial.
Yeah. You know what?
So-
That reminds me of another film. I know you've probably seen this. It's the movie The Eye with Jessica Alba. Did you see that?
I think I've seen that one.
You saw that? Well, anyways, there's an original version to that, an Asian version.
Oh, really?
I think it's a Korean movie. Man,
Okay.
it's way better than the one with Jessica Alba. And, you know, I don't want to talk bad about Jessica Alba, but the original one, The Eye. If you haven't seen it, check it. You haven't seen it, right?
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen it, but I know for a fact that the Korean and the Japanese originals are usually better than the American
Yeah.
ones.
Well, anyways, in this movie, there's a scene that where this girl. Well, the thing is, the movies has to do with a girl that has to have surgery because she's blind, and I guess they figure out how to transplant eyes of someone that that had an accident, and they're able to put those eyes into the main character of the film. But anyways, this girl, after they do the eye transplant, she's able to see the dead, right? So what's going on with your speaker? It's sounding weird. I can't hear you no more.
The comments on my studio.
Oh, I see, I see.
I have to keep muting it.
Yeah. So
Studio.
you can mute it right now if you want. But anyways, in the film, the girl could see the dead people, and there's this really good scene that that I was really like impressed with, where the girl she's crossing the street, and then all of a sudden she sees this little boy running towards her, and she's about to move, but the little boy just runs through her. And so she turns around and she's like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? So then the little boy was in shock. Like, what? Like, he looks at her like, how did I just go through you? So then the lady starts hearing people screaming. So she looks ahead from where the boy came running. And there's a little boy on the ground that got hit by a car. So the little boy didn't even know he got hit he didn't even know he was dead. So he, when he was running across the street, he got hit, but his spirit kept going. And
He was unaware.
yeah, so once he went through the lady that could see him, then he realized, oh crap, like I'm dead. And so the lady goes up to the little boy that's on the ground, and then the spirit of the little boy also goes to see himself on the ground, and he kind of accepts like, oh man, I'm dead. So then you see death, like a dark figure, come behind him and grab him by the hand, and they walk off into a dark, like it looks almost like a vortex or something. But anyways, check out the movie The Eye, the original.
Okay.
It's so
I
good.
remember seeing that trailer though about the eyes and everything, but I never seen it, so I'll keep my eye out.
Yeah, and the Jessica Alba the Jessica Alba one was nothing like the original. They totally changed it.
Okay.
That was more like a eye candy movie.
Eye candy and all action and everything.
Yeah, eye candy action. Yeah, but the original great movie.
Okay.
But did you watch any movies that have to do with the near death experience or no?
The Sixth Sense. I watched part of it. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing today.
The Sixth Sense, did that have near death experiences or?
No, sorry. Just the Afterlife.
Oh, the after. Oh yeah, like ghosts and stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to ruin it for anybody because it's a really good movie.
Spoilers.
So,
If you haven't watched The Sixth Sense, turn this off right now. I'm pretty sure everybody's watched it.
Yeah, but there's always that one person.
I know.
Just go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. If that one person is watching this video right now, stop the video, go watch The Sixth Sense, and then come back and finish watching the video.
And let's see. And that pretty much covers a lot of the notes that I have here about that character, Bruce Willis's character.
Yeah.
Let's see. It'll be unfinished business.
That's right.
Yeah. Finances and loved ones are fine, and they have to find out that their loved ones are okay, or they have a final message to give to their relatives.
Well, in The Sixth Sense, what happened? Like, because you know what, I haven't watched The Sixth Sense like in 10 years. But what happened? What was his unfinished? Excuse me. What was his unfinished business?
Well, his unfinished business was that he devoted so much of his time as a child psychologist to his job, and he finally got this award. And his wife was very praised him a lot over it, that he worked hard, this and that. And he didn't really, care about the big award or anything else. He just wanted to kind of block that. Mm-hmm. But he never really told his wife that he loved her. Oh. That she was never second to anything. Because both of them, she sacrificed herself for his career, and he did really well. But in the end, he thought about the whole thing that you were never second to anything. You were the love of my life, and he lost his life.
That shows how much of a movie buff I am, because as you know what, I remember I don't remember him being a psychologist. I thought he was a cop.
Child psychologist, yeah.
For some reason I always thought he was a cop. But I gotta go back and watch The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
But you know what? There are certain scenes that are pretty they have a pretty big impact in that film. There was a scene that kind of freaked me out. Was the scene where there's a little girl under a table or something, and she looked all like she was a drug addict or something. Do you remember that scene? Mm-hmm. Did you get to see that, or you haven't got to that point?
I was so busy, I had to skip around. I forgot about that scene.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get the meat and potatoes, the beginning, the end, and a few things in the middle, and but I don't remember that. I don't recall that at all.
Okay. And you know what? Now that I think about it, there's not that many films that have to do with that, is there?
Not a whole lot. But yes, that whole, not just Bruce Willis's character, but all the other spirits that come up to a little boy, they're always going up to him and telling him this, telling him that, because all of them have unfinished business.
Yeah. Wasn't the movie with I think it was Kevin Bacon, Flatliners, had to do something with that, where like they would kind of almost like kill you for a moment and then bring you back, but they started coming back with different personalities or something. Do you remember that movie, Flatliners?
Something taking its spot, right? It's
yeah. Did you watch that movie or no?
No, I remember that commercial a long time ago in the 80s or whatever it was, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, they actually made a remake of this film with Ellen Page, I think it was. But that movie, it has something to do with a kind of like a near-death thing, because what these they were college kids, and what they were trying to do is they were trying to find out what happens when you die. So they did this experiment on themselves of, okay, you know what, let's we'll put a certain drug and remove the oxygen and let the brain kind of shut down for a few minutes, and then they would use those, what are they called, the little things to shock you, the things in the hospitals where they shock you and bring you back.
Defibrillators.
Yes, so that's what they would do. They would bring the person back, and the person would say, "Oh yeah, I saw like a tunnel and I saw these lights." But the thing in the film was that there was a dark, almost something bad was happening basically when they went to the other side, because they ended up not coming back as themselves anymore. It's almost like a different entity took over the body that they left on the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is kind of how some people say you shouldn't practice meditation, because if you meditate too hard, you might go into somewhere where another demon or whatever might possess your body and take away.
And
your soul, your lost one.
And you know what? Now talking about this, it's kind of also. Have you ever heard of people that have had lung transplants? Mm-hmm. And it's people that never smoke cigarettes, but the person that those organs belong to used to smoke, and then they start smoking, almost like that they, whatever that other person used to do, it went with that part that they replaced on the new person. Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard about that, no. I would think that maybe if it was some sort of like brain memory, that it'll affect your habit of of doing any kind of drug or anything else, but I never heard of the lungs.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like if I died and they give my liver to someone else, and that person's all like, for some reason I love beer now. Oh man!
It's like those true stories and movies where some people go to like the secondhand store or pawn shop and they buy a ring, or they put on a lady would put on some high heels or whatever, and they would become the previous owner of the ring or the shoes.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, but I mean, this is actually, if you look online for information about this is true. These people that will get like organ transplants end up picking up these habits that they later find out the person that donated those parts used to have, like, the habits that the original person used to have. Who knows?
That's kind of cruel, donating your dirty lungs.
Let me give you my habit. Hey, if they donated our organs, the new person will start like just loving everything 80s. They're like, "What's going? I'm going crazy."
You can have everything, just don't take my dirty liver.
Oh man! Was there any other cases you found online, or that was it?
Just those typical things, because they don't know that they're a ghost. They need to establish some sort of contact. They're in denial. Unfulfilled desires. Unfulfilled desires. Something we talked about earlier. Something that you wanted to do all your life. You wanted to be, the president. You wanted to be an Air Force fighter, or a doctor, or whatever it is. Some people, they don't want to go on to the next life because they have some sort of a thing where they want to come back and become that, but by that time it's too late because their physical body has ceased to be, and they have to move on to the next.
Yeah.
So that's what unfulfilled desires is. Also, people getting stuck in this ghost state, lack of spiritual connection, especially amongst religious people, saying that if you don't believe in God or this or that, you might be stuck in some sort of limbo, which some people say limbo or whatever it is, might be this state between
life and death,
here and heaven, life and death, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what, I have heard about that. There was a guy on YouTube that he's like a specialist, I guess, that would talk about that, how a lot of these spirits that never move on, go to heaven or hell or whatever it is you go after you die, they end up getting stuck here because they're so attracted to being alive. And that's why they end up like when you do meditation, they say don't meditate because another spirit could come and take over. And yeah. And supposedly when you do these things, like play Ouija boards and all this, these spirits are attracted to that because they know that there might be a chance that they could, come back.
Right. Yeah.
But
because they have unfinished evil business.
Yeah. Either that or they just like being alive, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, Carlos. Yeah, but do you know anybody personally, like either family or friends or someone, that has had this happen to them?
No, not at all.
No.
I haven't really gone talking or interviewed anybody about it, but it'll be nice to find out somebody. But I don't have any information on that.
And you know what's crazy, that a lot of people, even before they die, let's say you're at that point where I guess your body already knows that you only have a few days or hours to live. It's crazy how some of these, a lot of people have that whole thing where they'll see family members in the room. Yeah, you've heard about that, right? Well, they'll start talking to people that died already a while back, like their parents or brothers and sisters that passed away, and they'll talk to them like they're there in the room with them. So maybe that's just the brain starting to evolve into the spiritual realm.
Right.
That'd be cool.
Transition state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know my wife's grandmother went through that. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that or no?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because I actually used to go to her house, to the aunt's house, and that's where she lived. And I remember sometimes her grandmother would start talking to people that weren't there and talking about like seeing kids running around and stuff. So who knows? Maybe that's that's already the transition. The mind starting to see stuff that you will see when you become spiritual, like a spirit. And
right.
Who knows? I mean, that'd be cool. I mean,
And then some people, when they see or their grandfather passes away or someone close to them passes away, they have a sense that, let's say a couple of days later, they have a sense that that person's nearby or in the room, like a shadow figure, or they have some sort of unfinished business to tell them that wants to tell them, hey, this is what I want to tell you. I want to see you one last time. And then that disappears.
Yeah, I think my mom had told me about this. I think it was one of her aunts that happened to, or I'm not sure. I don't want to say 100%, but I think it was my mom. I don't remember. But she had said that I guess when the aunt was about to, before, like a few days before she died, she would see the spirit of her husband, I think, like come into the room, and she would actually like tell him like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. And then a few days later she died.
Okay.
So it's crazy because some people actually accept it. You know, some people are just kind of like, oh, it's cool. But I guess sometimes some people are more aware of it. Like, oh crap, I know this is it. You know, I know this person's dead and they're coming to take me, or you know, to help me go on this journey.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. What do you say?
Some people that accept it, some people that don't. Like there's that movie, Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. And Danny's already he's already a man, and he goes around and he leaves his past behind because he's running from a bad past, and he's working at this old folks home, and he knows that this cat in the hallway there's a bunch of different rooms, a bunch of doorways, and this cat goes to the actual room where that person's going to die next. So each, depending on the person, the cat goes there and lies on the bed, and Dr. Sleep, Danny, he goes in there and he talks to the person. He's, oh, the cat's in here now. What's wrong? What's with the cat? Well, every time the cat jumps on someone's bed, that means that's their last few minutes. They better say their goodbyes because they're going to move on to the next place.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So the cat goes to another room, and there's a guy's like, I don't want to die. The cat is, So it's that whole thing that some people are welcoming. They want it. They want to. They've already fulfilled everything. There's no unfinished business. All the business has been taken care of. They've had a long, beautiful life.
Yeah.
And they will.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's just also like we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. It's that fear of like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna go to hell? So I think that's why a lot of people are afraid. Like, oh no, like I don't want to do that. I know I've done some bad things in my life. But you know what? Talking about that what are you gonna say?
We have unfinished business. We want to get at least 1,000 likes, or else we're gonna haunt you guys.
Yeah, we want to hit we want to hit at least 1,000 episodes.
But then they'll probably like the fact that we'll be ghosts.
I know, they're gonna thumbs down. Thumbs down. But you know what? What you were talking about, how in that movie with one of my favorite actors, by the way, Ian McGregor. I love that guy.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that thing you were saying about the cat. How it would tell. Did you hear about that? If you could actually look for this on YouTube, this one guy that passed away and his dog. Like it became like it's famous on YouTube. The dog went to the grave where his owner was buried, and the dog actually stayed living at the cemetery till the dog died. I mean, he would eat and everything. He would look for food, and actually I think people in the neighborhood started feeding him. They would take him food and everything, but he would sleep on top of his owner's grave. That's crazy. I mean, there must be something that's left over, because I mean, how would the dog know? Especially years later, after the body decomposes and everything, how does the dog know that the person's there? I mean, unless the spirit's there. But you haven't heard about that?
I found a couple of videos here. I don't know, is it a German Shepherd or is it a different type of dog?
It's like a little tiny dog. I forgot what it was. But
should I play part of the video right now? It's only 1:23. Can we play it here?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me switch over then, okay?
We're gonna try to see if we can play it without getting. Oh, but you know what? Can you? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we can't really hear anything. So you go ahead.
I can mute it if you want to.
Oh no, go ahead, play it. We'll just talk over it.
Okay. Hold on.
Copyright.
I'll put the volume down.
Yeah. Oh, you know what that is? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the one, but it might be. It does. That's a little tiny dog.
Yeah, it's a little tiny. Because the other dogs I saw on YouTube were German Shepherds, which is a larger dog.
Yeah.
So this is the only tiny one that I saw up on top. This one had the most hits.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this dog, he lived at the cemetery, but I don't know if it's this one because the one that I saw, the dog already passed away, so I don't know if this dog has died. But this could be a different case, yeah.
Yeah, this is from 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, but it's funny. I mean, how does the dog know the owner's underground? I mean, buried there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. It's that animal sixth sense, or
yes, the smell and just the sense of the soul, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know how they say that supposedly animals could see spirits, right? So maybe.
Okay.
Well, see, there is different ones, right?
Yeah, there are different ones. Yep.
Yeah, they're different ones. So you see, I mean, it's crazy. Afterlife.
Right.
Oh man, yeah, but
And that's from CGTN. That's on YouTube. CGTN.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm almost done with my beer, Carlos. Is there anything else you wanna add to this 20th episode anniversary episode?
Man, you have to love that. And then 5 more episodes to celebrate. No, we'll celebrate 21, and then we're gonna celebrate 25.
Well, you know, this is gonna be kind of like we're gonna call it the end of the first season.
End of the first season.
The end of the first season episode.
Okay, that's great.
But
yeah, because that's usually the amount is about 20 episodes per season, right?
Yeah, 20 episodes.
The average.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. We've gone this far already.
I know. And you know what? It's funny. It seems, I feel like we've been filming already for like 6 months for some reason, but it's only been like 2 months, 2.5 months, maybe.
No, well, when did we start? Well, there was a little false start back last year, and then we truly got into it when March or February, right?
No, I don't remember. I think it was March though.
Yeah, we gotta look into the files here.
Yeah, but
okay, so here we have episode 1, January 31st.
Oh, okay. So February, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's great.
Yeah. So it's been like a little over 3 months, right?
We're already in June, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're like at the beginning of June, so it's been a little over 3 months. But to me, it feels like we've been doing it already like half a year. And you know what? Before we finish the episode, I did want to talk about I know we mentioned on episode 19, which is the Relics episode, right?
Right.
If you haven't watched the Relics episode, go check it out. Episode 19. It's actually really good. I really enjoyed talking about that topic. I know we don't have a lot of views on that one, so if you haven't watched it, check it out. But
yes. At
the end of that episode, we talked about that we were going to be doing kind of a different another what is it, like a spin-off to this show. But and we said we were gonna release it this past Wednesday, and we ended up not doing it. But we are on the works for that. We're trying to figure out what kind of background we're gonna use. Try to make a new intro, and there's different things that we have to do. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier, but we did film a pilot, and we weren't really happy with it. So we're gonna do it again. But
so we're going to do this other show, but we're not going to give you a timeline or a date when it's going to come out. Yeah. We're just going to give you a little tidbits here and there. Yeah. But just to rest assured that this show here is still going to keep going, and we're going to put our best efforts to make the show even better than it is. And it seems like we'll be able to go out pretty soon and have a little bit of field work.
And you know what? That's another thing I was going to mention. This other show we want to do, I think it's going to be better if we do it together, like we're in studio together, not doing it like this, because the idea we have is going to be totally different. But is there anything you want to plug or mention before we finish?
And I think another good idea too is to have a random guest on that second show.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. That's why I want to have like Carlos here in studio together, and then we could have either a random guest be here or do it like this through through a monitor and have them be a part of it. So it should be happening soon. I say a few weeks, and then we'll have it down. But anything else, Carlos? any beer company you, you want to promote?
Still rocking the same beer that I had last week. It's still good from El Segundo. Actually, no, this is actually from Inglewood.
Yeah.
The Three Rivers Brewing Co. from Inglewood, California.
Okay, so you've been drinking that for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah, and you know where a good place to get this for a really good price is Trader Joe's. I picked this up at Trader Joe's for I believe it was like $12.99 or $10.99 for a 4-pack.
Oh, nice.
And I also picked up some Smog City Amarillo Gorilla there too. Really good beer.
Nice. And you know what? Today I'm drinking this that you've had this before, right? The Big Wave Golden Ale beer.
It's a fun beer.
Good stuff. And you know who introduced me to this beer? Your cousin Chris. So shout out to Chris.
Yeah. That's a Kona Brewery Company, right?
Yeah, good beer. And you know what? The thing is, last week I drank, I think I was drinking Corona, and man, I ended up getting sick for a couple of days from that. But anyways.
Don't drink that stuff, man.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys. Well,
it's like putting Arco in your Mercedes.
Well, actually, with me, it would be more like putting Arco in a Toyota. Oh man! But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I always forget to mention this at the end of the episode. Please subscribe to the channel. Push that like button and do the notification. There's a notification bell now, right?
Yep.
And you have to touch this bell now.
That bell.
Yeah. Push the bell. And that way, every time we release a video, because now it might not be Friday, it could be Saturday or Sunday, and that way it'll let you know when the video is out. Yes. Although we'll still put it on our Facebook page, San Pedro Paranormal. But yeah. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I know if you've been watching from the beginning, thanks a lot for sticking with us for these episodes. But yeah,
we love you so much.
Yeah, we love you guys.